it's Ozgun here. So you already know one of my previous tracks, Nowhere Without You with Max Aries, and I'm still getting some comments that people want a project walkthrough, but the problem is project is kinda like 2 years old and I don't have most of the plugins, but still it's loaded enough to demonstrate a walkthrough video. Before we go to the video, I have an announcement. Tomorrow is my release day. I have a dark progressive house track coming out tomorrow. It's a collaboration with Dominic Zantz and Junior Pace, so make sure to check the House District Records. Also, I'm gonna post the track to my YouTube channel, and I hope you guys gonna enjoy it because it's a really different style of mine, but I love the vibe. I'm sure you are gonna love it too. So if you're ready, let's get into that tutorial. Okay, I think we can start with the break. The filters and several stuff, the mastering is not working. I no longer have those plugins. So I'm gonna just put a clipper in master, so not to get clip and distorted. But yeah, other than that, most of the plugins are already loaded. So let's go to the break.
I saw you from across the room. If looks could kill, I'd die for you. Oh, and you know just what you do. You're so casually cool. I saw you from across the room. If looks could kill, I'd die for you. Oh, and you know just what you do. You're so casually cool.
Okay, let's not go to the build up yet. We can start with bass and the vocals. The vocals are like the main part of the track. We find it on Splice and it's like 90 BPMs and we really fasten it a lot. It sounds like this originally. Let me put it in here.
Across the room. If looks could kill, I'd die for you.
That was the original vocal. It like belongs to some other genre, but we just thought we can use it in an EDM track and it pretty worked well.
I saw you from across the room. If looks could kill, I'd die for you.
So this is my classic vocal chain. I always apply similar chain to every kind of vocal. I'm putting the vocal as an individual channel and I'm using the sense to get the reverb delay and such other effects. In this case, we are just having a similar surgery in here and low cut. And then I love 2A kind of EQs because they are compressing with a style and they are working nice with the vocals. We have a deesser. It's like deessing the siblings of the sounds, like the harsh high frequencies. Another compressor just to glue the chain, and that's literally all, only 4 different plugins. Let me show you in action.
I saw you from across the room. If looks could kill, I'd die for you. Oh, and you know just what you do. You're so casually cool.
As you can see, we are compressing a lot after boosting it with this, because without the final compressor, it's really silent.
I saw you from across the room. I saw you from across the room.
So I like to, if it's EDM, I like to squeeze my vocals. I just boost with a final compression, and that's really enough for me. Without FX, it's really in your face. I'm trying to achieve that.
I saw you from across the room.
And if we check the FX, we are using this chain. So we have a reverb group in here. They have reverbs with 100% mix and then some EQ. And I have another reverb. This time, this is a hole. So we are using one hole, one plate. Hole is gonna be more wide, plate is gonna be more small and bright. So with this, we can just blend 2 different reverbs. If I send the reverbs to one channel, I can just work with its volume. That's all.
I saw you from across the room. If looks could kill, I'd die for you. just what you do. You're so casually cool.
So you see the plate is like just widening and brightening the sound, and whole is like giving a space to it. And with two of them, I'm just sending it to the like individual reverb channels. I'm sending the vocal, and they are going to their own bus. You can put a limiter in here, and you can sidechain it with the vocals, even if you want more clean vocal. All of them going to a vocal final, which I'm gonna come in a second, because we have one delay channel in here. And yeah, the delay is sidechained, you know, to the vocal itself. When the vocal is playing, the delay is ducking down.
I saw you from across the room.
Again, the delay is 100% wet, and we have an EQ. I like to like narrow the delays. It's never gonna like clash with the vocals. And we have a chorus. Again, we are just sending the signal to desired FX, and then all of the FX like going to one bus, which there's a final EQ. That's all. If we check, I think there's nothing fancy on the vocals. That's all. Let's go to the Reese Bass. It's the classical Reese Bass that we use all of the breaks. So as I remember, Max made this preset. It's his Reese. It's just decent enough to put the break. It's like filling the background of the track. We are cutting the lows, so we are gonna make our low end totally mono. And then we have a glue compression and one more EQ, another EQ. So cut the highs, that's all. So the compression needed because when the bass notes are too melodic and going high, it sounds way too loud. So you gotta compress it so you maintain the same amount of power when you're playing the root or fifth or other keys. And let's check what do we have in the break. It's a really big project. There are so many details in it. So the first part of the break just mostly elements like ambient stuff, you know, something like this. This kind of elements are always like filling the background. So it makes your part sound more full. We have an ARP, so its cutoff filter is lowering in time. So this ARP is going to the climax part, and in the climax part it's fully open. But it's even not the final sound because like as I told you, I don't have several VSTs anymore. And beneath it we have a pad. It's some Avenger preset. I think Max find this one. It's like really weird kind of phase effect. We really enjoyed it. And there's nothing more on the breaks first part, but in the second part, things are getting nasty because we have a really solid and big break leads. So they sound like this. So as you hear, there are a really cool ear candy in the break leads because we are using an automation. Most of the time you heard it from like Merce West older tracks. It's making like this. We are doing it inside of silent. So let me find the leads. So there's a pitch AB knob in here. Let's see. So you see the pitch AB in here. You gotta make the first mode pitch AB. And you are gonna automate this knob. At the same time, you are gonna automate the decay. So when there's a sustained MIDI, it's gonna make the glide effect, like a really like crisp portamento effect. At the same time, we are just making the pitch automations really fast. So it's creating this unique effect. At the same time, yeah, we have several more leads. All of them silent. Because like this trick is really hard to match if you're using Spire or Serum, and like that's why we gotta try to use all the leads from silent one.
You're so casually cool.
And beneath it, like the leads are kind of weak without the chords. So we have 3 layers of chords. I think the Avenger one is not working in my project. Let me disable this one. So one preset is this. And the other one is this. So we are making like the chords in a separate group. The leads are in a separate group. So we have more controls between the synths. But this is like the lead group. And this is like the chords. As I tell you, like probably several VST are not working, but that's fine.
You're so
And processing wise, you know, like chords, we don't make that much surgery, because like if you pick the good layers, they are fitting nice together. You don't need to make too much processing. And let's check the leads. Like all the leads going to their own bus, and they have Camel Crusher and like certain EQs. For example, one of the layers. This one has OTT, and also like we are trying to fill the spectrum. And sometimes you just send all the leads to same bus and EQ and it works. Sometimes it doesn't, so you gotta put them in separate channels and process them differently, separately, so you get the sound in your head. And let me check. This, you see the automation probably. This is a delay send. We are just automating the delay in the gaps, so it's like filling the space. And yeah, the processing wise, it sounds like this. The processing wise, break leads got Noveltech character and some EQ to boost to certain mid frequencies, and like final EQ, cutting and boosting, and some surgery. If the sound is fat, you gotta make some surgery, because if there are so many resonating frequencies, it's gonna be so harsh for the ear. So we have a filter, we have delay, we have reverb, and that's all. And let's check the bass. I think the bass is different in climax part. We have 2 different layers. One layer is this. It's just a sub, but the cool thing is we have a top layer, and which just sounds like this. And all of the break synths are just this. Oh yeah, the ARP, but I already showed you. So ARP is like in the climax part, it's fully open.
You're so casually cool. I saw you from across the room.
So before we go to the drop, I think I gotta tell you the build up, because the cool thing is we find the melody, we struggle on the melody a lot, and we tried so many different variations, but in the end we just decided to make the melody while we are listening the vocal, because like in the build up we need a melody that is like fitting perfectly with the vocals. By the way, when we are working on the melody again in the first part, in here, we again just put the vocal and we try different variations. Like we wanted to sounds like the vocals are just came to us and sing for us, you know. They must be matched so good. And I think you guys loving this aspect of the track. And I think you guys are loving this too. You can like feel the emotion that we are trying to give to you. And that's the most important part of the music for me. Anyway, so we put the vocals, we put the bass, and then we just try to come up with a melody. As you can see, the vocal and the melody fitting really nice together. And the other stuff in build up is just basically the break sounds, harps and pads. I think I don't need to explain them to you. We are just automating everything out, and we are just automating everything from drop in. So the build up is just a transition between two parts. So we have risers, so many risers. Yeah, I think the cool part is like we made this riser. It's not a sample. So with this, you can just make risers especially fitting to your track. I already have a tutorial about how to make your own LFO risers. So make sure to check this one. I'm gonna add a card to the top. So we have two snare channels. Okay, let's go to the drop now. Maybe we can start with the kick and bass. So as you see, we like tried so many kicks. I think I already shared this one to the Discord group. Like if you wanna get this kick, you can join the Discord. It's a good way to promotion. Top of it, as you see, or maybe as you don't, but now you see. So we have a really like small reverse noise. It's just coming before the kick and it's adding so much like to the transient. But it's not a transient, so it's not gonna make things bad for your mastering limiter, but it's gonna make the same effect like adding a top kick. It's really cool trick. You can try this one. And after that, we tried again several different basses, but we just decided to use this one. It's from Kashmir sample pack, and like processing wise, it's just an EQ, nothing more. And there's one thing, one cool thing. So as you see, like the notes of the sub is changing in here. Bam, bam, bam. Two different notes, right? So in this project, unfortunately, they are deleted, but we did this one. We put 3 of different EQs for every note, and like one EQ for the sub itself, like this one. And one of them, like the note of this, bam, bam note, and the other one, bam note. So 3 EQ, and we are just switching the EQs. So we EQ'd it that well. All of the 3 notes sounds same power. This is a cool mixing advice. Always, like if you are making big room, you don't want to lose any of the power. Right now, yeah, we unfortunately cannot hear, but you can see the automations in here. You see, like they are changing. So we did this, But unfortunately, like they are missing in this project. But always try to EQ if you are going to different notes. In big room, in this kind of drops, you need it. Okay, we have this Kashmir kick again as the mid bass. So it doesn't contain low frequencies and have a dip because we needed to give space for the leads. And we boosted like the upper mids to give it a bit crispness, and then OTT to compress the out of it. Then another EQ. So it's all about like fitting the different elements to the mix. And they sound like this together. And after this, I think the bass line is this. We have the leads. So let me show you the layers by layer. It's the same processing logic with the break leads. They have their own channel, their own EQs. Nothing crazy with them, but just trying to shape them, color them according to track. And then like they are going to drop bus. And the final processing is happening in there. We have novel tech character to give the final touch of distortion, filter, and EQ again. Another EQ. Like back then we were EQing a lot till it's like fitting to the mix. Now I'm thinking more minimalistic, but yeah, back then that just worked. So we have Valhalla Room, but it's for build-up automation. Another field reverb, just automating for the gaps, and like. This is delay, and this is reverb. That's all. And we have S1 imager to give a little bit of widening. And yeah, in the mid part, the mid fill, we have chords. Just holding some sustained notes. And other than that, like we have mostly drums, crash, and oh, let me show you steps. We have several layers in here. Nothing fancy on the steps, and I think yeah, we again probably missing some plugin, probably S1 imager for stereo imaging, but that's all. And yeah, we have this reverse layer, so it's like filling the gap. And after that we have claps. Kind of complementing each other. And in the drop and in second part, let me check. We have the snares. Like we like to use the snares as the tom, like a percussion. Like the main sound in here is the snare, but they are layering with another perk. We have rights. And let me check, what is this? We have exhaust. And a white noise. This Kashmir energy booster sound. And let me check, other than that, a crowd noise. And with this, like, drop is already full. Let me see if I'm missing something. Yeah, in the second part we are having a hi-hat, and that's all for the drop. Let me show it. Oh yeah, the mid drop fill, we have this sound. So I think this is one of Max sounds. We have this sound and we are filtering it in with some snares. There are panning automations, so snares like papas left and right. We have this sound to fill the low end, and that's all for the fill. And I think this is it for the drop. The second drop is like basically the first drop with more drum variations.
It looks good, kill a death for you. Oh, and you know just what you do.
And another cool mixing tip before I finish the video. So this is my break leads going this channel as a final send in here to here. So this is my break leads. When my vocal and the break leads are playing at the same time in the second break,
I saw you from across the room. It looks good, kill a
it's almost impossible if you use two leads because vocals are basically the leads. At the same time, they are just gonna clash. So in this case, we just send the vocals to the break leads channel, and in here we have an EQ, and this EQ is listening to the vocals. So when I play them at the same time, this FOB filter is gonna show me both my break leads and my vocals. So I can see which frequencies are clashing with each other, and we can just dip that frequencies, and we can make an automation for this EQ, and you can activate it when vocal and the leads are playing together at the same time.
I saw you from across the room. It looks good, kill a death for you. Oh, and you know just what you do. You're so casual and cool. I saw you from across the room. It looks good, kill a death for you. Oh, and you know just what you do.
And yeah, with this, both elements are having their own space in the mix and they are not clashing. So I think that was it for the project. It's old project, and yes, we are missing several plugins and mastering. But if you have any questions, if you have any parts that I just skip or didn't explain it properly, don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. Today that was it, guys. I hope you can apply this to your own productions too. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.